What's happening, people? Thank you guys again for tuning in. Welcome back to JuNa TV. If you guys are new to the channel, please consider subscribing. Hit that subscribe button below, hit the notification bell right next to it so you guys never miss an upload from me, and go ahead and smash that like button for me, guys. Today's episode though is gonna be fun. We are working on the Kayak again, and if you guys remember the first, Kayak video when I first got it, we did the battery box install. This right here, we made this, put it in the Kayak with the USB port and charger. If you guys missed that video, I'll leave it linked somewhere up here. Sometimes those little iCards don't work, but if you haven't seen it, just go click my videos, check it out. It's a pretty cool install video. But today, guys, we are going to be installing our fish finder. We went and got a Garmin Striker 4, and we're going to be installing it on our Kayak. Now, again, this is an Old Town 106. Oh God, I forgot what it is. Old Town Topwater 106 is what we have. So if you guys have this Kayak and you want to install a Garmin or any other fish finder, hopefully this is going to be instructional and more informational for you guys to help you with the install. Now, I've not done this before, so we're going to try to do it the best that we can, and again, hopefully it's helpful. So let me get the camera on the tripod. I'm going to go over the materials you guys are going to need. I'm going to explain some stuff that I'm going to be doing and what I'm going to have to do the Kayak, and yes, you will have to drill into your Kayak if you want, at least for this type of install. But let's get to the tripod and I'll see you guys with all the materials. Freaking dog. I'll see you guys in the tripod. Alright guys, so we're on the tripod now. I'm gonna go over some of the materials with you guys, what you're gonna need for this install. At least that's what's gonna help me install this on this Kayak. But the materials that I'm gonna get, everything's gonna fit together. Now of course you're gonna need your fish finder. You can't not have that. You're gonna need that. Another thing for this install, for the wires, the power cable and the transducer cable that will go into the back of the fish finder itself. I went ahead and got a through hole wiring kit. Now I'll link this down below in the description for you guys so you can get this. I'm also gonna need some butt connectors. If you watch the battery install video, you're gonna need some connectors like this. And again, I'll leave a link in the description down below for you. Of course, some wire cutters, some wire crimpers, and you're gonna need something that cuts a hole. I would suggest the 1 3/8 paddle bit here. You can get a hole, like a little hole saw if you want to as well for the drill, but 1 3/8 because that's gonna be the size for the whole kit. And of course some heat shrink, a lighter, and at least for this I went ahead and got the Yak Attack fish finder mount for it as well. So not a lot of materials. This is not going to be like our battery box and install where we have to do a lot of wire cutting and a lot of stuff like that. But most you're really going to be doing is you're going to be just crimping butt connectors onto our connector here that will go into the 5-way connector that's inside the hole of the Kayak. And that's pretty much it. So let's go ahead and break open the Garmin. I'll show you what's inside here. If you guys already have it, you know what's inside, but just for the video purpose, we're gonna go over what's in here and kind of explain what we're gonna do, and then we'll start the install. Alright, so we got the box open here, guys. Of course you're gonna get your fish finder inside there. It's gonna come with the transducer, if you guys can see that, and of course the cable, directions, and there's the power cable to the Garmin. We're men, we don't need directions, right? Now I'll go over these off camera just so I don't screw this up, but what I'll probably do is try to save some of you guys some time and explain what some of this stuff is. Unless you're just one of those people that likes to read directions to make sure it's all good, go right ahead, but I'll try to save you some time as much as I can. Your little fish finder mount there, and of course like the trolling motor kit for your transducer, but this is a Kayak so we're not going to be needing that. And transducer mount. That's pretty much it that you get in the box there. Now with these, if any one of you guys out there have this the Topwater 106, you know, underneath the Kayak it's got a spot for the transducer, like to mount a transducer. Now the problem with that is, at least with the Garmin, is the holes. I already did this, you know, off camera, but the little holes here, the mounting holes right here for the screws, okay, they don't mount up with the mounting plate underneath this, so you will have to drill inside of that plate and make your own holes. It's not a huge deal, but there's another issue you'll run into. Now I'm going to do this install anyways because I really want to try to get this out in the water. Just recently I went out to a place that had a bunch of crappie, and the guy I talked to was like, man, just get a fish finder and you'll be able to find them and fish. I've never caught crappie before, so it'll be kind of cool. But even though I'm kind of going off course here, just with the Topwater 106, or maybe even all the Old Towns, I don't know, the way the transducer mounts in the bottom, the problem is you're going to run into is that it sits low. So it's going to mount on these 2 points right here, but it's going to sit below the base of the kayak at the bottom. So that will kind of lead you to, if you're not careful, you can damage this, you know, bringing it to shore. You can, if you hit something, you run over a, you know, like a stump or something inside in whatever water, you know, you're in, you have a problem, or you might have a potential problem of running this over and damaging it. So just be cautious and aware. This is a little disclaimer on that. I have already made measurements and have sent off to either get 3D printed or have something made out of metal, a bracket that will actually fit in the little space below these kayaks to where you can mount the transducer where it sits flush and just up enough to where it's not going to get hit. So once I get that, maybe I'll do another video on that. If you guys want to see a video on that or see me go over that when I do get it in, let me know in the comments. I'll be happy to do that for you guys. It'll kind of be a little prototype because I don't know, you know, if it'll work or not, but I just feel a little uncomfortable having this sit below, you know, the bottom of the kayak where it could get damaged. So, but that's pretty much it on this. Trying to think where we left off last time on the battery box, because if you guys remember, and I'll go over on the GoPros, I'm gonna switch to the GoPro so you guys can see everything. I made 2 spots. It was like 2 holes. Well, I drew 2 dots where I was gonna mount the whole kit at. So we'll be drilling in there and we'll kind of fit everything in where we want it to fit the fish finder and the other wires and stuff like that. But I'm excited, guys. This is a long overdue install, so I'm happy to be able to do it today while it's nice out. It's not super hot. I actually woke up late, didn't get to go out and fish, but I was like, oh heck, let's just go ahead and do this. So here we are. So I'm probably just gonna jump on the GoPro for you guys, start showing you what we're gonna be doing, where we're gonna be setting stuff, and we will just go ahead and start doing this. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so I'm going to be doing something a little bit different with the editing. I'm probably going to botch this up, but I'm going to try to get the GoPro and this all on the same screen, so bear with me if it's terrible. But anyways, what I'm going to show you guys here on the big camera, you'll be able to see me install on the GoPro. This is going to be your transducer with the mount, okay? If you look here up on the GoPro, this is where it's going to mount to. Now when you guys take a look at it, you see that the transducer sticks up further past than what the bottom of the kayak is. So that does create an issue if you were to hit a stump, or you're again bringing your kayak up to shore or on a boat ramp. You don't want to damage it. So again, it's going to be a problem, but hopefully I'll get that bracket soon that I don't have to deal with this. Maybe it'll make it flush, but this is where it's going to mount to. So all you're going to need for this, guys, is get your Phillips head screwdriver. There's 2 Phillips screws right here, or bolts, whatever. Take that out, set it to the side. And this is going to be our mounting plate. Now this, if you guys can see, that's super dirty. Ugh. But this is going to be the mounting plate, okay? You can see it's just a little hollow inside. Almost looks like a little 3D printed plate here. And this is going to be the mounting bracket for the plate here where the transducer goes. Now, if you take a look, I'll show you on the big camera. You can tell that the holes don't really match up. So what you're going to have to do on this, you're going to hopefully wherever you're going to mount it to, you're going to have to get like a marker or something, or measure it, and you're gonna have to drill your own holes through the mounting plate here. Now it's not a big deal, it's a piece of plastic, so you know, if you don't mind doing that, it is what it is, but just make sure however you're gonna put it that it's going to fit and not have any have any issues. In the bag, guys, also it comes with screws for the transducer, but nothing for like the mount. So you might have to find your own nuts and bolts to put into this and, you know, screw down yourself. So I'm gonna have to go somewhere in the garage and find something that will work with this, but let me go find that. I'm gonna go ahead and drill some holes into this. I'll probably do it off camera, but I'm gonna go find something to mount this up to, and we'll come back and hopefully it'll be mounted here, and I'll show you guys what we're gonna do. And the reason why we're starting with the transducer first is because we do have to put excuse me, we do have to run the wire through this little hole right here, if you guys can see. So the transducer is gonna mount right here, and then the wire is just gonna feed right through the hole. So hope that wasn't too confusing, because I'm actually looking at the GoPro and I'm looking at the camera here. But give me a moment. When I come back, I'll have all this installed here and I'll kind of show you what I did. Alright, so we're back. I said I wasn't going to show you everything we did, but we did get the bracket mounted on to the back of the plate. Now again, this doesn't come with mounting screws or mounting bolts for the plate, but if you have something in the garage or you need to go out to Home Depot or Lowe's and get something, you can. But I did just that, but I had some stuff here. So if you look on the GoPro here, you can see where it sits. So we're gonna just remount this back to where it goes and see. Of course, I marked everything before I screwed it on, so I already know that it was gonna fit. But let's just get it on here so we can take a look. Alright, there we go. So that's on secure. No, I don't know how secure this will stay as far as the mounting plate goes. I always suggest, if you're gonna screw anything in, if there's not any like bolt or anything behind it to kind of keep it locked down, use like Loctite or something. I'm gonna get some here shortly, but for the install purpose, we're just gonna leave it kind of where it's at. But you guys, that is solid. So now we're gonna take our transducer here. Let's get it right here, and this is where it's gonna mount. So now you guys can probably see on the GoPro, you know, you can adjust it. Obviously you want it to be, you know, flat, or at least as flat as it can be on where it'll be in the water. But there's that, and we'll end up running this cable through our little cable chute there. But before I get all of that through, let's go ahead and do it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this there's a little bracket that comes with it, if you guys can see that, or I'll put it on the camera here. There you go, little bracket right there. I guess it would just go there to at least hold it. It does come with a screw and bolt, or a nut and bolt for this, but I at least will attempt to do what I can to hold this in place the best that I can, since, you know, we don't have the that little bracket to mount it to where it's actually underneath, well, not sticking out above the bottom of the boat. Let me get alright, so we're gonna go ahead and tighten this little bracket down here so this doesn't move easily. I know right now you can freely move it, but we want to at least tighten it down so we can kind of prevent that a little bit. Let's make sure that we can get it. I might jump off camera just for a second. Alright, so we do have it fairly secure on there. I mean, that's really not going to go anywhere. That's actually really good. Everything's even. So what we're going to do, guys, we're done on the bottom of the kayak, which again, this is something I wanted to do first, at least, because this is going to be on the bottom. I don't want to get everything installed on the top and then flip everything over when I can just have this done now. The wire's already coming through and we can just start wiring stuff up. So I'm gonna take everything off, I'm gonna flip the kayak over, and we're gonna just start getting into it. Alright guys, so I'm sure you can see that I'm sweating. It's a little bit hot right now, but while we have the kayak flip back over, before we start anything, one thing you want to do when you get your fish finder mount, now I got the Yak Attack fish finder mount here, you want to position it, you know, whichever side you want it to be on, whatever's going to work best for you. Now I've already put this where I needed it to be, but I took it off for the purpose of the video. Oh, excuse me. So I'm gonna go and just put it back on there, and I'll show you guys on the GoPro, and then we'll start looking over the wires. I'll show you what the wires are, I'll show you where we're gonna be mounting everything, and then we'll literally just start drilling holes into the kayak and getting everything wired up and see if everything works. All right, so we now have the fish finder mount mounted onto the accessory track of the kayak. So let's take a look here at the power cable that will go into the back of the fish finder, along with the little connector cable from the transducer that will also go in the back of the fish finder. There'll be two little connectors, you guys see that right there, that they will connect to. So we're going to mount the fish finder to its mount there and kind of see where we're going to mount the these little wiring kits, the hole through wiring kits, and we'll start drilling. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get on the GoPro again so you guys can see what I'm doing, and I'll probably still have the camera on the tripod. So I'm going to try the whole dual video thing again, where talking to you, but you see the GoPro. You know what I mean. I don't even know how to explain it. If it's terrible, guys, and you don't like that, and it's kind of hard to follow, please let me know in the comments that, hey, that's trash, stop doing it, because I don't know if it's good or not unless you guys tell me. So please let me know in the comments if that's working for you, if these types of videos are helpful, doing it that way, because I've not really done any instructional videos before other than the last battery thing, and seemed to be okay. But anyways, I'm kind of ranting, so yeah, let's get on the GoPro and we'll start doing some installs. All right, we are on the GoPro. Hopefully you guys can hear me and see a little better on this. We're going to talk about the through-hole wiring kit with you guys real quick as well, and explain how we're going to utilize these little grommets here to fit the power cable and the transducer cable to go through the kayak. So let's break into this real quick, and I'll explain to you guys what you're looking at here. I know it's going to be a little confusing. Hopefully I explained it good enough, but in the little kit you're going to get two of the through hole grommets there, or the screw plugs, and you're going to get a few grommets. I think there's one left in here, I just freaking forgot it, but you get like 4 of these. You get some with 2 holes in it, some with 1 hole in it, depending on what wires you're trying to run. Now these are supposed to be a water resistant grommet or water resistant through hole kit, to where if you want to run wires, it's supposed to create a watertight seal around the cable. So if you guys remember when we did our battery install with our USB port, we have this little dot right here that we chose to put, which is where we're going to put one of these. So let me show you how we're going to do this. I'm going to unscrew this off right here. Get this off here, and I'll show you how, since this is the transducer, we're going to run the transducer wire kind of through this and show you guys. So you get that right there. You're going to have to take this grommet out. If yours doesn't come with them in there, great, but sometimes they'll come in with it. You just got to push it out from the bottom. But we're going to take the opening here. You just open them up. All right, now since this is kind of rough here, it's a long freaking transducer cable, so like the weight of it's pulling it back down. But anyways, this side is going to go inside the kayak here, and it's going to come up on the top over there. So what we got to do is we're going to take this little grommet here, and we know it's going in, so if this is going to be facing out like that, you'll want the wire going through it this way. So let's go ahead and just, if you want, you can move that out the way. I don't know what the heck's going on with that, but anyways, we will move that in there just like that. And now you'll take the little screw and grommet thing there, push the rubber grommet through. Really hope you guys can see this, because my GoPro is not showing anything on it. It's just blinking red to record. But anyways, so now you have that. Okay, now this portion right here, once you drill this hole out with your either your hole saw or your paddle bit, this will fit right in there, just like that. You'll put this rubber grommet here so it's a watertight seal, but what you'll do is it'll go through, and then you'll screw this little ring from the back side in there to tighten it down, and that's it. That's all that's gonna be right there, just like that. Now let me move the camera here real quick so you guys can see. This is, we're gonna have the second one coming out right here somewhere. So this is the back of our Garmin, so we want to have the cables, the power wire and the transducer cable, which will be this end, is going to come back up through this side. That's the goal. The wires going in, then the power cable that's going to be connected to the battery, and this part right here is going to come both, see if you guys can see this, both of these are going to come up through this one right here and plug into the back of the Garmin. So that's the goal. So let me get the GoPro set back down and we will get started on cutting our hole and fitting everything. Well, we got both cameras rolling now, so let's break into this. You're gonna need your 1 3/8 paddle bit here that's gonna make that hole for your hole kit. So there we go. Get one of these. You're gonna need your drill. And I know it's probably not showing on the GoPro just yet, but there we go. So again, guys, it's going to be for this grommet right here. These are the correct size. But, wow, let's get to it. Here we go, drilling the second hole in the kayak. Before we get into it, let's double check, make sure that this is the size, make sure that this is where we want it, which that looks good. Everything looks like that's where it needs to be. So also, let's double check this before we start doing this. We are rushing. Let's take the thing off here. Make sure nothing's back there. Okay, nothing that can be damaged. Here we go. Whew. There we go. As good as that's gonna get. I don't know why it looks like that, but whatever. We now have another hole in the kayak, guys. Awesome. So, where is it at? Where's our... There it is. Alright. Let's go ahead and run this transducer cable through. And that does, yeah. That fits on there. Looks pretty good. Hope you guys can see on the GoPro there. It is, you know, now we have to get the other, we have to get our rubber little seat on there as well. But yeah, that looks really good. So let's run this through right here, and then we'll run the rest of the wire through. So what we're going to be doing, because we know the cable to the transducer cable is super long, we're going to run everything through, and we're going to have a run a zip tie around everything so we have it all nice and neat inside the hole of the kayak, so it's not looking just like a bag of things. But yeah, so there we go. We got the rubber grommet on. Let's put this there. And now what I will say too, guys, before you start pulling the whole wire through, go ahead and screw it on first. You don't want to have your cable that long, because then you got to run this thing all the way through. So just get it in enough to where you can where you don't have to run all the whole cable through and all that stuff. So where's this thing's in my way, so give me a second. We're back. Now we're just gonna pull the whole transducer cable all the way through. This is the this is the time-consuming part, but it's not too bad. It's just you know, you don't want to pull everything super quick or do it. Oh god. All right, so even though we have a mess here, you know, you guys can see where this is all at too. So now we got our transducer cable running through here just like that, coming up from the bottom, running through our whole kit, and now everything is inside of the hole there. Well, the big camera battery decided to die on me, so now we're going to be stuck with being on the GoPro for now until the battery can charge. But I went ahead and moved the GoPro over here. I hope you guys can hear me decently, and I want to show you, we're going to be putting this other whole kit right here, oops, this other whole kit right here on the side, because our wire is going to come up through here and into the back of the fish finder. So I'm going to mark a little dot here like we did with the one down there, and we'll put another hole in the Kayak. Now with this one, because we're running both the power cable and the transducer cable, so we went ahead with the grommet that's got two holes in it for wires for this. So let me grab, I think I have a marker somewhere. I lied. So we got our marker. Let's go ahead and figure out where we want to put this. Now I do want to kind of keep it even a little bit, so it's gonna, you guys might not see it as well as I can, but here's our, you'll see the dot, it's kind of there. Hopefully you guys can see that, but there you go, that's our dot. That's where we're going to start to drill. Now wish me luck. Hopefully the camera doesn't fall as I'm drilling into this. Now before we do this, I want to show you, you don't have to mount your stuff here like I am. This is just what's going to work for me. You need to do what works best for you. If you want to follow these instructions and follow the guide that I'm doing here, like mine, on your 106, perfect if you want, but you don't have to do all this. This is just what I'm doing, what works for me. And so I just wanted to say that, because I don't think you know, we all fish the same, or we all like the same things, but as long as this can help somebody, oh God, I'm bumping the thing. As long as this can help someone get their fish finder installed on their Topwater 106. Am I still hitting the freaking thing? All right, let me step over here. I'm sorry, guys. There we go. I'm pretty sure that shook the GoPro substantially. I'm sorry. You guys now have dizziness or whatever. Well, this is fun. Okay, well that's just gonna happen. Well, let me see if I can, I don't know how that can come off. I don't wanna, there we go. Cool. And we have another hole in the Kayak. So make sure that fits in there just right. Looks good, guys. So now when we're doing the cable running for these, okay, I will tell you right now, there's a series of ways you have to do this, because if you don't follow it, you're going to be taking the stuff in and out, and it's going to be really crappy. So before you do anything by putting wires through, you need to take the locking nut here and put that on first, because that's going to be the last piece that you go underneath to put this on. Secondly, now you'll take these cables and you'll run these through now. So now you have the locking nut behind there, and then you'll put the rubber grommet here. You'll put that on next, and then if you want, you know, you can do this either way, but it's easier just to do it this way. We got the small wire and big wire to match the small opening and the big opening. So let's go ahead and get your wires through the rubber grommet real quick. And there we go. So now you'll fit this over there. You'll push that rubber grommet through. It's a little tough, a little snug, but it's supposed to be, okay? And just pull that through however much you need. Make sure you get the your little rubber seat right there on, however you want to do it. And now you have that there. Now the reason why that's important the way we just did it is because if you don't have the locking nut on this side, all this has to come back out and you got to do it again. Ask me how I know. So let's see if we can get this on over here. Get this screwed up. I'll tell you what, give me a moment, guys. I'm gonna go off camera so I can have a better angle at this, and then we'll come back. Now we have our wires through, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and fit them into the back of the Garmin. Now this is all self-explanatory, you should be able to know how to do this, but what I'm gonna see is make sure that everything is at a appropriate length. Now we haven't done anything permanent just yet as far as putting the holes in the kayak, but I just want to kind of see where this would sit. Now when you're doing this install, you do not have to have your wires sitting like this. You don't have to have them any way that I have them. If you want to loosen them up and bring them down and whatever you got to do is fine. You don't have to have them the way I have them. Just for video purposes, again, we're just going to leave them like this till I find what I like better. I may even move the fish finder back some just so there's not so much wires exposed. But also too, I transport my kayak on top of my Jeep, so I got some J loaders. So you know, having these wires, you know, like this isn't bad. I can still push them down in the bottom where they're not going to be flying everywhere while in transport. But at the same time, I don't want to, you know, have them out and then have them like zip tied to the fish finder here, and you know, because I want to be able to take all this stuff off. I don't want to keep this stuff on the kayak when I'm transporting it. So I'll figure something out. But what we're gonna do next is, this is the power cable, okay? I'm gonna go over the wires here, the install of the connector. I'm gonna hook everything up to the battery and we're gonna test everything, and that's pretty much it. This is really the only thing we have left, and I think other than cleaning up the wires inside the hole of the kayak, I think we're almost there, guys. So let me switch the GoPro around a little bit so we can see a little better, and then I'll get everything that we need for connecting this to the battery. Okay, so we are now moved over to the other side of the kayak. Hopefully you guys can see this and hear me. I know I ask that and say that a lot, but I want to make sure that, you know, I'm not doing all this stuff and it's hard to hear and hard to see. So but here we are. So we are at the power cable right now for the fish finder. Now what you're going to need on this portion here, ouch, it's a little sharp. What you're going to need for this is, of course, our little connectors here. These are going to be connected to what we have underneath in our 5-way connector. And so, of course, self-explanatory. The only problem with these, they come in white and red instead of black and red, but red's power, white's negative, or ground, whatever you want to call it. And we're going to butt connect these together. So of course you need some butt connectors, and if you're anything like me, you're kind of OCD about stuff, always make sure you have some heat shrink as well. So that's what we're going to do. We're gonna put these together, butt connector, heat shrink it, and we're going to have our connector here, which is going to go inside the hole. Now the OEM or stock fuse connector for this is going to be one of these little cylinder fuses. If you want to get your own fuse connector with a 5 or 10 amp fuse, I would suggest it. This is a 3 amp, I believe. I lied, 30 amp. Okay, well there you go. Get a 30 amp. Yeah, that's weird that that's so high. I don't know, but get a you know, get a fuse connector with an amp with a fuse for it. So there we go, guys. So we now have our things connected. Now let's go and try this. You guys can see already we do have our battery connected. This is our voltmeter here with our USB chargers. We're at 12.7 volts. But now, before we start putting everything inside and matching everything up, we're gonna get our connectors. Now this is where our 5-way connector falls in place, so you guys can see this. No, not that one. This one is no buenos, but these are the type of connectors. This is why we get these connectors, because we can connect all of these together. So we're gonna go ahead and plug this up, make sure that that goes in. All right, let's move our power button on this. Sweet. Looks like our Garmin is working. You guys can't see on the GoPro, but I'm just double checking, making sure that everything pulls up. Perfect. So what I'm going to do, guys, let's go ahead and turn this off. There we go. So everything works. So unplug this. I'm going to go ahead and start cleaning up wires. I'm going to start putting everything away neatly underneath here in the hole, so it's not just a pile of freaking wires and bird's nest looking stuff. And before we do that, I don't know if I explained this just yet. On the Garmin, the power cable, you'll get a blue wire and a brown wire. Now this is for like data use only. I'm not exactly sure what data it's supposed to be used for. I believe it's to like transmit data from whatever, like GPS data, stuff like that, to maybe a control panel like on a boat or something like that. You don't need this for your kayak. I looked all over on some forums and stuff to see if these cables were necessary, and they don't, unless you're just going to be, unless you're using a boat. This is something like if you're going to get this professionally installed on another marine vessel, or you know, whatever, they're going to use these. You will not need these. Do not worry about these. Just if you want to, you can tape them off or cut them however you want to. I'm probably just gonna actually I might just cut them. I'll probably just cut them, and then we'll make everything neat underneath here, and then I'll show you guys the Garmin. I'll show you guys it turning on and see what we can do, and that'll be it, guys. This was actually fun, fairly easy. Everything looks nice and tidy and neat, but like I said, I'm gonna clean everything up before I start showing the finished product, so it doesn't, you know, look like we're still installing stuff. So let's tidy the wires. All right, so we got everything cleaned up here in the kayak, all the junk, all the stuff blown off. We put everything in here. Before I show you the Garmin, I want to show you kind of what I did to kind of clean everything up. Now I did get all the wires together and just zip tied them. Now this is the transducer wire along with the power cable as well. It's just kind of tucked back in there. Don't know if you guys can see, but I went ahead and also, if you guys have wire loom, I use wire loom as well to kind of keep stuff a little neat. But yeah, that's just me. And then here's the connector, the little 5-way connector hooked up to our battery box. So everything is pretty much in there. And I still have room to put whatever I need in here. Usually I just put my first aid kit in there. You know, you always have to have a first aid kit. So everything is hooked up. Everything is powered on. You guys can see right here, hopefully, that we have our little voltmeter there, and you can see how the wire, now I did fold the assist strap. Hey, it's a mosquito. I did fold the assist strap in there just to kind of keep it out of the way of everything here, but transducer cable comes up to there. There is still a little bit of tension there, so it's not fully tight, so we don't want to bend the cable, but it's running through here. Everything is tucked in underneath the hole, and everything comes out our little grommet there into the back of this. Now, like I told you guys, I'm going to switch this up a little bit, maybe clean it up. I did leave some slack inside, so I can, you know, if I need to press it down or move anything back, I still have room, so I'm not just limited to, you know, only this amount of this length of wire. So without further ado, guys, let's test our fish finder. So there we go. Look at that. We have power. We now have a fish finder on the kayak, which is awesome. So let me see how this works. I don't really traditional. Sure. Now it's not giving us anything because clearly we're not on the water, but yeah, I'll have to read over the manual a little bit and kind of see what how to really use this. This is my first fish finder. I know nothing about it. I'm sure I can look online and find different ways to use this, but of course we have God, these mosquitoes are starting to get bad in here. Traditional, which, you know, just your traditional fish finder, your flasher, which I would assume, I know I've seen a lot of ice fishermen use that, or people that ice fish, they use that. You get a waypoint map, so you can set waypoints. That's cool. Use your data, sure. See what settings is. Yeah, all right. Well, I'm not gonna go through all of this with you guys, but freaking mosquitoes. All right, Jesus Christ. Anyways, just go back to traditional. So there we go. You guys can see that. That's awesome. So now it's not going to be faced this way the whole time. I just moved it, you know, for this, but you know, we'll be sitting here on the kayak. You know, I'll just kind of put it as best as I can to you guys, and it'll be, you know, I'll have to adjust it obviously, but there we go. So sitting on the kayak, and you're kind of looking down at the fish finder there, and there you go. So that's pretty awesome. And of course we got our USB port charger right there. Our battery voltage shows us there, so we're not you know, running out of battery. But yeah, guys, this install was fairly easy. This was actually pretty fun. I know I probably talked a lot, just like the last one, but again, I try to be informational with this and do the best that I can in explaining things to you guys, which is, you know, understandable, I guess. I've never done this stuff before, so, well, at least I've never installed like a fish finder stuff, wiring and running wires stuff. That's all easy. But so yeah, let's shut the GoPro off. Let's go see if the big camera is charged, and I will close out the video with you guys. That is gonna wrap it up for today's video, guys. It is hot in the garage again. It's always hot. You guys can see me like glistening and everything. Oh God, get my freaking mop. I need to get my hair cut. Let's put the hat back on. Sorry about that, but yeah, guys, we got the fish finder installed. Super excited about that. The kayak's coming along. I'm enjoying it more and more every time I add something new to it. So don't let me go overboard on it though. Don't let me do that. I don't want it to be too much to where it's going to be a pain in the butt to transport it. But so far, fish finder, we got our charging port and our little GoPro mount in the front. To me right now, it's perfect. So, but let's talk about the install. So for anyone that has an Old Town Topwater 106, that's what this video was more specifically leaning toward. I couldn't find any videos of this specific kayak that had fish finder installs. I found some stuff that explained, you know, what the heck, mosquito, fly, I don't know. So yeah, I couldn't find any videos that showed people installing fish finders, but the one video I found just talked about the transducer mount underneath, like the plate and all that stuff. So it really wasn't a helpful video for me. So what my intentions on this video was to hopefully be more informational and have more detailed instructions on installing a fish finder specifically for this kayak. Now, you don't have to have a Garmin Striker at all. You can have one of the other Strikers, I guess. I think there's Lowrance makes some little fish finders. I'm not in tune with all the marine electronics yet. So, but yeah, so any fish finder is fine, but specifically for this kayak, I wanted to make the video for the install. So if anyone is wanting to install one, they don't have to makeshift their own, like, you don't have to make up your own thing, contraption. There you go, that's what I'm looking for. You don't have to makeshift your own contraption just to freaking fit a fish finder on here. So with the wires and the whole kit and everything like that, I mean, that's all simple stuff. Yes, you do have to drill a couple holes in your kayak if you want to. You don't have to do it if you don't, but for this install we did, just to keep the wires clean and hidden and everything like that. So, but it worked out. But if you guys have any suggestions, or you want to see anything else being installed in here, or if you want any more specific or detailed answers to any questions you might have that I didn't get to really go over in the video, ask me down in the comments. Please interact with me in the comments. I love answering questions back to you guys. Or if you follow me on Instagram, I'll leave that down below, my Instagram there, and you can DM me and ask me questions about the install. I have no problem doing that for you guys. So, but yeah, that's about it. I think hopefully soon. Work right now is going to be changing schedules up again. So I don't know when I'll be actually able to go out on the water, but when I do, I will make sure to do a video on the Garmin showing everything and hopefully going out and still catching fish. But yeah guys, that'll be it. I have nothing else to really go over, so hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, please give this video a huge thumbs up. It helps out the channel, helps out the video, and of course you guys know I always appreciate it. And for anyone that's new to the channel and this is your first time here watching this, please consider subscribing. Hit the notification bell right next to it so you guys never miss an upload from me. I love putting out content for you guys that you enjoy. If you guys want to see any sort of content or see something specific, want to watch me do something, I don't care, let me know in the comments. Let me know what you guys want to see, because I'm making these videos for you guys now. Like, you know, this is all fun for me as well, but let me make you guys entertained. Let me entertain everyone that wants to watch my channel. So let me know in the comments. But yeah, and that's about it. So I'm gonna go on and get out of here. Until next time guys, you know what it is. I'll see you guys back on the water. Peace.